I don't know what camera to look at. That one, this one, that one. All right. What's the name of this podcast again?
Dreams to Reality.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
I like this song. Let me turn it up a little bit.
Dreams to Reality, where we teach you how to turn your dreams
Into what?
into reality.
What is reality? What is reality?
Reality is your perception, actually.
That's interesting.
Yep.
We'll get into that.
I'm sure we will.
Welcome back, guys. What is this? Dreams to Reality podcast.
Yep.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
I am back in the house.
Christopher Lopez is in the house. Everybody,
Yes.
give him a grand applause.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Toxic masculinity is back in the house.
That toxic masculinity
Yes.
is here, and it ain't going nowhere. So how you been, brother?
You know, I'm feeling really good.
Yeah.
I had a great weekend.
You look good.
I learned a lot.
What'd you learn?
I feel enlightened. It's too much to go over the intro, but I'm sure we'll get into that here today.
Yeah, so I know this past weekend you were up in San Jose with the great Arash Adibazar. Oh, forgot his middle name. Sapar.
Yeah.
I think that's like a demon or something, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your experience up there. What'd you do?
Man, it was a lot of lectures. It was a lot of hanging out with. I don't even know if hanging out's the correct word, but really just being around like-minded people. But of course, learning in lectures and having a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Awakenings, spiritual awakenings, and epiphanies, and
Really?
yeah, absolutely. And I'm not just saying it just to say that. When I came back home, I felt much different. I felt lighter in the sense of I think when you have spiritual awakenings, like you just realize that there's so many things in life that we take serious that we shouldn't take serious.
Yeah.
There's so many things that we're chasing and we're doing, and we're trying to we're trying to accomplish things, and we're trying to make ourselves feel okay by chasing things outside of us rather than working on the inside of us.
Yeah.
And so he's shout out to AZD. He really continues to just blow my mind and teach me and show me a whole bunch of different ways that really nobody else has.
That's amazing, man.
Yes, sir.
What's the biggest takeaway you took from that spiritual awakening and your experience this weekend?
Well, he's been talking a lot about transcendental meditation.
Okay, yeah, I know a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. And he's a real practitioner of it,
Wow.
like really, really, really like serious. And, talking a lot about The Untethered Soul. I don't know if you read it, by Michael Singer.
I've read the cliff notes of it. I've never read the book from beginning to end,
Okay.
but I know who he is. I know his book, and I have read snippets of it, watched videos on it,
Yeah.
and like I said, I know the cliff notes. I wouldn't say I'm very knowledgeable in it, but maybe you can explain a little bit more of what the concept is.
Yeah, I mean the concept really about there are two different practices. They kind of coincide, but in short, what really the teachings are is really learning how to be okay inside. There's a lot of things that happen outside of us. You get a text and it's not what you want, so it pisses you off. Triggers you.
Yeah.
You're driving. Somebody pisses you off because they cut you off.
Yeah.
And and so it's really just the learning, the what's the word I'm looking for? The awareness.
Right.
Having the awareness
Yeah.
that there's a lot of stuff going on inside of you that you're just not okay with, and
Yeah.
that we don't really realize that we blame it on everybody else.
Right.
And so we don't go inside and do the work. And he said something this past weekend which really blew my mind. And he said, and I might be paraphrasing, but he said, a lot of people, to work on their body, what do? They work out.
Yeah.
Right. You work out. We call that. We work out to exercise our body.
Yeah.
But very few people work in. And
Yeah.
in is work on what's going on inside of you.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't think, to my understanding. Yeah, no, I know. The teachings are about really fixing what's going on inside of you.
Yeah.
And I've learned through his teachings, that we're constantly chasing things. We set these goals and we're constantly
Right.
chasing things. And it's not because we really want these things. It's because we are not okay inside. So we trying to do everything that we desperately can do to make ourselves feel better.
Yeah.
Everything except just going inside and trying to clear out the clutter and fix what's going on with us. So we try to basically put a Band-Aid over a big wound,
Right.
when it needs to really be, stitched up and taken care of. So, I mean, that's kind of paraphrasing, but yeah, that's my takeaway.
It's crazy that you bring that up because we, just before we came on this podcast, I was talking about how I noticed that you tend to want to antagonize just to antagonize, just piss people off for no reason. And I'm like, he's like my little Conor McGregor, he just likes he's the guy you love to hate, you know? And the reason why I realized that was because I became aware that most of my life I have allowed people to affect my emotions and affect my actions. And like you're talking about, it ties into it, because by allowing someone to affect your emotions internally, those affect your actions, and then it affects your life, and it affects your results, and it affects everything, and you're never freaking happy, So I for the last couple of days, I've been practicing, or, I've become aware, like, okay, I'm not going to allow anything to affect me, and I'm not going to let nobody control me. So whether it's something that hits a trigger, I'm going to become aware of it. Like, oh, that just pissed me off. And I realize it, and I ask myself, like, why did that piss me off? And how can I just let it go and just be okay with the moment? And I also realize, like, I'm not, like I told you, I don't say things to antagonize or to piss people off. I say what is truth and what I believe is truth. And when people resonate with that, great. And if they don't, great. It doesn't matter,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have recently gone through.
Well, can I make a comment on that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I heard we had some butthurt reports, so.
Yeah, bro, everybody hates you.
Yeah, everybody hates me, but it's okay. They hate themselves.
They're like, get rid of him.
Yeah.
Get rid of him. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
There is no Dreams to Reality podcast without the tuna.
That's very true. Very true. But it's I like what you said. You said, I just say my truth and I say what I believe. I don't try to antagonize anybody.
Yeah.
First of all, I need to say this, right? Anything I say, I believe it 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not just out here saying things for the sake of saying it so I can piss somebody off.
Right.
Now, do I deliver it in a way
that pisses people off?
Yeah. And I might do that on purpose. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? Because anybody that personally knows me, like if you're watching through this camera and then you're like, oh, I know that guy. You don't know shit. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You don't know nothing. Just like I don't know you, you don't know me.
Right.
You've known me for how many years now?
Like 11.
Over a decade.
So.
And I would say I'm a person of good character, and
yeah,
and I can judge myself. I think everybody should have the ability to judge themselves.
Yeah, like we talk about this all the time. About creating your own code of ethics and your own moral compass and your own philosophies in life. And I wouldn't associate with you if you weren't a good person. You wouldn't be here with me if I didn't think you were someone that was ethical and good, and someone that I can align with. And like you said, people that are watching this podcast, they're only getting a glimpse of who we are, so I do know you, and we've shared very deep, intimate conversations that, other people haven't had the pleasure to be involved with. So I respect you as a man, as a friend, as an ally, as a business partner. And, I don't take that for granted. So yeah, fuck everyone. I'm just kidding.
You just lost 75% of your friends.
It's all good, man. You don't need 75 people. You need a lot more than that. We'll make more. But the point that I'm making is that, like, even for myself, when I'm on camera, you're only getting a glimpse of my life, of my personality, of my journey. And, every time we do a new episode, we share a little bit more of that, and people get to know us a little bit more. And I think over time, as we have different guests on, as we go through different experiences, because this is not all we do. We got a whole life outside of this. You're running your business, I'm running my business. We got friends, family, we got life issues. We're all on the same boat. And I think our audience will get to really understand us on a deeper level, and appreciate, the information and the knowledge that we're putting out, because every single time that we do a podcast, I make it a purpose to sit down for a few minutes alone in my own mind, and I put intention behind this. My intention is to connect with someone out there that is going through, a similar journey that I've gone through, and to positively affect their life. I'm not here just to bullshit around and waste my time or waste anybody's time. There's a purpose behind everything that I do. And there's a purpose behind everyone that I align with. And, we're all human. We all make mistakes, but I believe that we can all redeem ourselves from past mistakes that we've done, and things that we may not be too proud of, So I just want to be completely open, and honest on these podcasts with the way that I think, the way that I move, the way that I act, and be congruent with everything, So, yeah. So I wanted to put that disclaimer out there for people, that you don't know us. Yeah, you don't know what we're about, but you have a glimpse of what it is. And I think most people, I'm been getting a lot of positive feedback, dude, from
Me too.
From every single podcast that we've been doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've had people tell me like, wow, I can't believe you talked about that. I connect with you when I was talking about like my divorce and stuff. And, people be saying to keep doing what you're doing. You're putting a lot of good information out there. Young entrepreneurs that are starting off and trying to, get going. They're resonating with the information that we're putting out there. When we talked about the male-female dynamic, that one was probably the biggest one where I got a lot of positive feedback.
Me too.
Yeah. So,
let me make a comment on that because,
go ahead.
Well, you and I, we both spoke on quote unquote controversial topics. I don't think they're that very controversial, but I guess today, this year, this world, the truth is controversial to people. Yeah. Just like conspiracy theories,
Right.
But I got a lot of positive feedback from that. Yeah. A lot of positive feedback from that. A lot of people, message me and like, man, dude, that was, you really hit it. I got very heartfelt messages.
Yeah.
And so I think it's I think we're definitely onto something good.
Yeah. Did you get any negative feedback?
Me personally, no.
No,
but I heard you did.
Yeah, well, it wasn't negative feedback. Well, like I said, you can't becoming aware of that. Yeah. Do you get upset when I say that? Like people told you that they didn't like you or something?
Honestly, I don't. Okay. But
does it affect you?
I will tell you what
it does.
Do
you get mad?
No. You just asked me that twice.
Yeah. Because I know you're mad, bro. Why are you lying?
No, it's 3 times. Okay. What it does for me is I have this feeling, I have this sense where it's like, when I know somebody is just so fucking weak and they're like, they're weak about dumb shit. I don't like how he said that.
Yeah.
Right. All it does, it makes me want to antagonize you even more.
That's what I was talking about,
it makes
bro.
Me, right?
Oh, like you love
that. It does. But it's like, cause why are you so fucking soft? Like, what's wrong with you? Yeah. Is that how your mother raised you?
Hey man,
what's wrong with you?
That's why someone came up with the phrase snowflakes. Because they're very soft.
You know what they are? They're liberals. They're Democrats. That's what everybody who had something negative to say about me, they're all, I guarantee you, let's take a fucking survey. They're Democrats. They were probably all fucking voted for Joe Biden.
Let me put it this way. No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
Not all of them.
Yeah, they are.
That's 2 times you already told me. That's 3 times. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, you're gonna get all kinds of hate. And they're gonna start making up shit. I'm racist. I'm homophobic, and all kinds of off the wall shit.
You're a Nazi apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to be in the Hitler rallies.
That's funny. No, what the hell were we talking about? I already lost my train of thought.
You were talking about, I don't know.
It doesn't even matter, bro. That's how freaking good we are.
Yeah, but anyways, like you asked me, does it bother me? No, it doesn't bother me. Yeah. It just, I find it funny. Because like I said, it goes back to what I said earlier. Anybody that really knows me knows that off the camera, I'm like one of the easiest people to talk to.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that because a lot of people come to talk to me. And I have great relationships with people.
Right.
And so the reason why I'm very secure in what I'm saying is because you're judging me based off of a camera. I'm judging based off of my life.
Yeah.
I'm judging based off of the quality of connections and relationships I have with people. Mm-hmm. I'm judging based off of the quality of business I have and the money that I make and my lifestyle and the admiration and respect that I get from people, and the admiration and respect I have for other people.
Right.
And so, but it don't bother me.
Right. Would you say you're a spiritual person or a religious person? How would you
very
categorize
much so.
yourself?
Very much so, absolutely. Not in the sense that the generic sense of it, of like how the world normally thinks about religion or spirituality.
What is that?
Well, my what's the word I'm looking for?
Perspective.
My interpretation of how the average person thinks of quote unquote religion or spirituality is like, well, if you were Chris, you wouldn't be cussing like that. You know, you would be mindful of blah, 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 blah. And I'm very mindful. Off camera, we were talking about, a lot of stuff. You know, we're talking about how I don't know, the more I grow and the more that I get, the more I realize that I don't think that's the true fulfillment in life.
Yeah.
You know, I don't believe so. When I was broken, I didn't have anything. I thought that, man, the moment I get that nice car, you know, that's going to fix me. You know, the moment I get to be with that girl, that's going to fix me. The moment I have a bunch of money come on my bank account, that's going to really fix me. Yeah. You know, if I have really nice clothes and wear chains and all that other stuff, right, that's going to fix me. And I've come to the realization, spiritual awakening, that none of that is going to fix what's going on inside of you. Right. And I think a sense of spirituality is a connection with the divine power, whatever that means for you. You know, I know people are going to listen and they're going to have different religions that they believe in. Right. And I'm not here to tell anybody they're right or they're wrong. That's not my place. Yeah. You know, because that's something that's very sacred and private to them. Right. You know, so but for me, to answer your question, I would consider myself I'm a man of that has spiritual practices. Yeah. You know, and I work on that every day. What about you?
Yeah, I've had a pretty interesting spiritual journey. You know, I think all of us, you know, when we're born, our parents teach us some kind of religion or some kind of spiritual teaching for the most part, you know, and depending on where you're from, you know, when you were born, who your parents are, you know, there's certain teachings that are taught to you that you just take it for truth and you run with that. And sometimes you carry that till the day that you die. But from since I was a little kid, I could always remember I was very inquisitive and I always wanted to know why things were the way they were. And to this day, I'm still exactly the same way. You know, when I want to understand something, I get almost obsessed with it. And I just study like nonstop on that one particular subject. Yeah. Which is why I tell people I'm a freaking Renaissance man. Like I could do it all. I know a little bit about everything because I don't know if I have freaking autism or some shit, but I get really, really, really sucked into certain subjects. And that's how I'm able to get really good, really fast.
Can I ask you, growing up, what religion did your parents, what's the word I'm looking for?
Practiced.
There you go.
Yeah. So my father's Catholic, but he's like one of those true Mexican Catholics that I've never seen him go to church a day in his life.
Yeah.
You know, and we, you know,
was he very superstitious?
No, my dad wasn't very. He wasn't a religious guy at all. He never talked to me about religion. He never went to church, very rarely, you know, maybe a couple of times here and there. But I knew that he was raised. Is that thing turned off or some shit? You're looking behind me?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Hold down real quick.
I was really impressed by your name.
It timed out. All right, cool. So, so my dad, I knew he was raised Catholic, you know, like most Mexican people. He's Mexican immigrant. I'm first generation.
Listen, Mexican birthing people. That birthing person. That's what you have to say.
Birthing person? Yeah. Oh, bro, I don't care who I found.
That's the new thing. Okay.
Is he a man, a woman?
Listen, public service announcement from here on out for all you snowflakes, all you little bitches out there. Hey, listen, we're gonna use the most politically correct terms here. Okay. Yeah. So when you refer to a man, you don't say man or woman. Okay. You say birthing person, because you don't know.
He's a birthing person.
Listen, today in 2022, men can have babies.
Bro, I don't even want to get into that conversation right now. That's for another podcast.
First of all, no, let's get into it. Because if you go on your iPhone, your emojis, okay, there's an emoji where there's a man who's pregnant. So you can't argue it. Okay,
I can't argue it now.
Back into religion. Go ahead.
If there's a symbol for it, it's a thing.
It has to be.
Yeah.
They wouldn't lie to us, right?
Yeah, they would, but fuck that. So let me get back to what we're talking about. The subject at hand was, so my dad was Catholic, but, we never went to Catholic church or anything like that. And my mom she wasn't religious until I was probably about 6 or 7. And she became a Mormon. I guess she grew up Mormon as a kid too, and then she got back into the church. All of my childhood and teens, I was raised Mormon. I pretty much went every single Sunday to church. I was part of every single activity. My mom was like the young women's leader, and she was like the leader of this, the leader of that. So we were super, super involved.
So your mom was Mormon and your dad was Catholic?
Yeah. So my dad never went to church with us.
But okay, got you, okay.
Yeah. I mean, he would go every once in a while, but he didn't believe in the religion, and he did his own thing, So it's just my mom, me, and my brother that were raised Mormon. I was baptized, I did all of it. And, but like I told you, I was always very inquisitive. So being so small and they're teaching you things, you just take like, okay, cool. This is what I believe in, and Mormonism is pretty much another sect of Christianity, but, it has its own beliefs and stuff like that. But I remember I was always like questioning things that they would say. It wouldn't make sense to me because I was always like a little nerd. So I was super into like science and like, rationality and logic, and a lot of things didn't make sense to me. So I was always questioning and questioning and questioning. And, I remember in middle school, it was like 7th grade. I woke up one morning, and then, my dad woke me up, like he shook me like, yeah, get up. And I was like, what the hell? And he's like, look, the Osama bin Laden crashed into the Twin Towers.
Wow.
He said it like that. And I was like, who the hell is Osama bin Laden? He's like, oh, he's like this Muslim terrorist. And I was like, what's a Muslim terrorist? And he's like, well, there are these people that live in the Middle East, and they just hate us, and they want to bomb us. I was like, how does my dad know all this shit? My dad was like a history buff. Like anytime I came home, he was always watching Discovery Channel or watching different documentaries on history. And he knows a lot about everything too. Like he was one of those dudes that just knows a lot about history. And he called it before anybody else. And I was like, I don't know how my dad knew it was Osama bin Laden, but I remember waking up and him saying those words to me because, why would I lie about this? This is my dad told me that. Maybe he heard it on the news or something, but either way, that's what I remember. And, after that whole 9/11 situation happened, I got really, really, really curious about religion, because at that same time in school, they were teaching us like history and, how monotheism came about. And I've always been really interested in history and science and all this stuff. So I went on this crazy journey as a kid, dude. I was like probably like 15 or something. And I started studying every single religion. I studied, I already knew everything about Mormonism. I studied, first all the great, monotheistic religions, which is, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, which all believe in the same God, the God of Abraham, the Bible, the Quran, all that stuff. I learned as much as I could about that. And then I went back into history and I learned about, all the religions that believed in multiple gods, and I kept on digging in. I even studied like freaking, what's it called? The Church of Satan. I studied everything.
Why'd you hesitate?
Because I couldn't remember the name of it,
Mm-hmm.
Because I was a super metalhead, dude. At the same time, I was like,
I remember seeing the pictures and stuff.
Yeah, I was into like hardcore death metal, and I remember the singer from one of the bands that I started was I can't think of the word where you practice Satanism. There we go. The Church of Satan,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I would definitely like to ask you questions on that.
Yeah. I studied, Crowley, which was one of the guys that wrote a lot for the Church of Satanism, and then LaVey, which was the founder of
Antoine
of
LaVey,
Antoine
right?
LaVey. Yeah, that dude was fucking crazy. He was weird, but he was actually pretty smart too. I learned the teachings and the beliefs of Satanism as well. And I did it just to know truth and know everything that I could possibly understand.
I like that.
And I was kind of in a weird place spiritually where I didn't know what was the truth. I was just seeking. was seeking, but I was living my life at the same time. And I didn't know, but I knew there was a difference between good and bad. And I believe there was a God. I just didn't know which religion was, the right teaching. And I came to a point where I realized that all religions was created by man, and it wasn't that God created man in his image. It was that man created God in our image,
Wow.
And
Say that one more time. I want to hear that.
I realized, because they say God created us in his image.
Yes.
And I realized that that's not true, that every single religion was man-made by a human that's just like me and you. And we made God in our image.
Can I ask, how did you come to, so hold on. How did you come to that realization?
Because I studied smarter men than me. I told you I become obsessed. And I studied history. And I realized that we humans, because I also studied biology and everything, we are a highly evolved species of primate, and as a primate, a highly evolved one that has a rational mind to think, we are a creature that likes to find patterns in things and wants to understand the truth. And, sorry about that. And we rather...
Look who's on his phone, this podcast.
Shut up, Chris. And we rather believe a lie than not know. So I realized religion was just our first attempt at understanding why we're here. Why do things work the way? It was our first attempt at medicine. It was our first attempt at science. It was our first attempt at philosophy. And it's a good thing. All religions have a really, really good thing.
Which is?
Let me put a pause here because I have to. I'll be right back. Intermission over. What were we talking about, bro?
You were telling me how you found the secrets of the universe and that you have all the answers and everybody else is so lost. Go ahead. Continue.
You know what? That's actually a perfect segue because I do believe that we all have the ability to get the answers that we're looking for. I'll tell you an interesting story. I'll tell you a super interesting story. So fast forward, and I never have done drugs or any crazy stuff like that before.
I have never smoked weed, Mom.
Yeah, up to this point. Okay. Up to this point. So what happened one time? I was dating this girl.
Wait, hold on. How old were you? What was this point?
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I was probably like 20. Let me see, 20. I was 24.
You're a little rook, huh? You're a little rook.
Yeah, I was 24 years old, and I remember specifically because I turned 24 years old, and I was working at 24 Hour Fitness in Arcadia, and I took a picture like in front of the 24 Hour Fitness sign that was like 24, some stupid shit. But that's the only reason why I remember that. So I was 24 years old, and I was dating this girl, and but she wasn't my girlfriend. I was kind of just like seeing her or whatever. And then I ended up meeting another girl, which I fell in love with, and I ended up making her my girlfriend. But I was still kind of talking to the other girl, so it was kind of like a weird situation.
Wow, toxic masculinity.
Yeah, toxic masculinity.
Okay.
So I was being a fuckboy. There we go.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
I think you're totally going the opposite of our last podcast.
Yeah, I know. It's all good. I don't care. I'm being honest with you with the whole situation.
So were you lying last podcast or this one?
I'm not lying.
Okay, I'm just saying you're saying the opposite thing.
What did I say opposite?
Never mind. Keep going.
You freaking liar, bro. I didn't say anything opposite.
All right. Okay, just play back.
Because people, there's people that are going to watch this podcast. They didn't watch the last one. And they're going to think I said something opposite, which
good.
I
and
never
then guess
lied.
what I just did? I just cut a promo. Now they're going to go watch it.
Watch our last podcast,
you're welcome.
guys.
Yeah,
Give us
exactly.
You know what? As a matter of fact, if you're watching at this point, you've already been watching for like half an hour.
Yeah.
Go ahead and subscribe already. Give us a little thumbs up. Follow our Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube, and I don't know, give me some money. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding about that last part. Yeah. So, anyways, so I was.
You're 24 years old. You're at. I was gonna say In-N-Out. No, 24 Hour Fitness.
24 Hour Fitness.
I'm just hungry. And you were dating a girl. You were cheating on her.
I wasn't cheating. I wasn't cheating.
Okay.
I was being a playboy, and I was dating two girls at the same time.
Oh my god!
I wasn't lying. Well, I guess I was lying.
You're lying right now on camera. This is crazy.
No, I was lying. I was lying. Yeah,
Jesus
I was lying.
Christ.
All right, cool. So, anyways, point is, that I go out with the girl, and you know, she's like, "Hey, do you want to have this edible cupcake?"
Which girl did you go out with?
The one that wasn't my girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, I've never had an edible cupcake." I was like, "What is it?" It's like, "Oh, it's like marijuana, but it's like in a cupcake." And I was like,
Nice.
Okay. So I took a bite of it. It was like half of a little cupcake, and then she took the other bite, and then we went out, and you know, we had some drinks and stuff. And I don't know what happened, but I told her, you know what, I don't want to see you anymore. I want to be with the girl that's now my girlfriend, you know. And she kind of went off on me and like started screaming at me. And I remember I was in my car, and as soon as she started getting upset and yelling at me, that freaking edible hit me, bro. It hit me, and I remember it was like, doosh, like I was like, what the hell is this? What's going on? Like she was like yelling at me like in slow motion and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm freaking tripping balls. And I was like, all right. And guys, just listen out the disclaimer, don't do drugs. They're bad for you.
Is marijuana really a drug though?
You know, this is a whole nother
listen, I personally, and this is real, I don't smoke weed. I don't like weed.
Yeah.
Okay. But my views on weed is if you drink alcohol, you're not going to smoke weed though, because that's horrible. I don't get it.
You know, what I'm going to say is there are plants out there that will cause you to go into a spiritual journey.
What, eucalyptus?
I want to have one of my friends who's a business owner as well come on the podcast and talked about these plant medicines, because I believe that there are certain plant medicines that will allow you to go through a spiritual journey. And I kind of think this experience that I'm about to tell you was kind of that thing. So that's why I bring it up. I'm not just bringing it up to tell you about it. Sometime I was dating 2 chicks and fucking taking edibles.
It sounds like a DHV for sure.
Yeah. So I'm explaining to you why this is important.
So let's get back into it. Go.
So anyways, so I take off.
Yeah.
You know, I take off in my car, and don't drink and drive. Don't do edibles and drive. I was the first time I ever did an edible. And as I started driving, the freaking road started getting long and shit. It was like expanding. Like I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I remember I was super, super scared, super paranoid. And I thought I was going to die. And I got on the freeway, and I was driving home. I was like, I just need to get home. And I remember I was so paranoid. I was like looking at the speedometer, because at first I wasn't looking at the speedometer. Cars were like passing me like super fast. And every time a car would pass, I'd be like, oh shit. I was all scared, you know? And I was like, fuck. So I was looking at the speedometer, go 65. I was going exactly 65 miles an hour. You know, I was like super tripping out. And then I kept thinking, I'm going to die. Like, like everything was going horrible. And then out of nowhere, like this blanket of warmth hit me. Like, and I was like extremely, extremely calm and poised. And like, I felt like I had the answers to everything. And I was like, shit, I'm going to get home. I feel great. I feel amazing. And I drove like that all the way till I got home, and I felt really good. And then when I got home, the girl that I was dating at the time called me. And when she called me, I was like, hey, you know, I love you. I want to be with you, you know, and this and that. And then she's like, well, what about that other girl? I was like, what other girl? You know? And I was like, no, I don't want to be with her anymore. This and that. Like, I was like, not talking crap, but saying like, I don't want to be with her. I want to be with you. And then she was on the phone too. She was listening the whole time. So they kind of both like attacked me or whatever. And I was like, oh shit. And I started like tripping even more and panicking. And then for some reason, the thought in my head came like, this has happened before in your life. And I was like, why am I getting this thought that keeps on telling me this has happened? And then I started telling them on the phone, like, this is crazy. This has happened before. This has happened before. And they're like, what? And then they both stopped and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know. This has happened before. And like, I hung up on them. And I remember like, I crashed into my room and like climbed up the stairs, got into my room. And like, I tried to like lay on my bed. And I kept on going back and forth through this experience of like feeling like complete shame, regret, death, like I'm going to die. And then feeling like complete ecstasy, amazing. Like I know the answers to everything. And I started, and it would last like 1 minute, 30 seconds, 1 second. And it started going like that back and forth, very, very, very fast. And then my heart was about to explode. It was going like 1,000 miles an hour. It was like, And then some weird shit happened where like I passed out, but I was still aware. And I thought I died. I literally thought I died. I was like, I fucking died. I had a heart attack. I'm like, what? Let's see where we're going. Let's see where this journey is. And I went into a crazy, crazy experience. Like, it's very difficult to explain because it happened so long ago. When it first happened, it was so vivid to me and I could explain it to everybody, but now it's like, it's a little vague. It's almost like a dream. But it's so profound that I can still explain it to this day. And it was like I turned into vibrations and I turned into waves. Like my whole body was vibrating and I turned into waves. And then I fucking turned into dust and I went into the universe and I lived, literally, I was stuck in this trance in my eyes for a millennia, forever. I was stuck in here forever. And in that I died. And I was God. I was the devil. I was a fucking cat. I was a cactus. I lived a bunch of different lives. And when I woke up from this trance, I felt like I knew the answers to everything. And I felt like I was connected to everything in the world, and I had already studied a lot about science, about religion, about spirituality. So I knew on a logical and conscious level that we are all connected. We are all made of the same stuff. I understand, the Big Bang theory of how everything in the universe at one point was a little tiny condensed thing that exploded and went into everything. And part of that is everything we're made up of. Like you and I are both made of stardust. We all have the same molecules, the same everything. We are both humans. We are both part of the same species. We both live in the same universe. We both have moms and dads. We're all connected, which is why we can feel empathy with other people. When someone suffers, we suffer. When someone's happy, we're happy. Why do people go watch movies? Why do people, when they see something sad, they cry? Why, when you see something funny, you laugh? We connect with everything. And I knew that on a logical level. But after this experience, I was like, holy fuck, we are all connected. And I really don't know what the hell was in that cupcake, bro. But
I was going to ask you, but
yeah,
I just want to know who your weed dealer is. I mean, first of all, you started off like, hey, look, everybody, don't do drugs. And then you did a phenomenal advertisement for whatever drug you just took. I mean, I don't know anybody watching. I need you guys to comment. Like, after he just talked about it, I want to get that shit. Yeah, whatever it is.
I've been looking for that cupcake forever,
You
bro.
lived in the universe for millennia? Like, what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, bro. Anyways. It was a trip. And when I came out, I was kind of like in this weird...
Was it weed or was it PCP? Or you?
I have no idea. They said it was just weed.
Like it was TH.
No, because she ate way more than me and she was fine.
You don't know how she was when she got home?
I do, because she called me on the damn phone.
Might have hit her at the same time.
And I think,
already happened.
To be honest, I think it was just THC.
Wow.
But I had never done it before in my life.
Well, it hit you hard.
And I even did research on it because, when you smoke marijuana, it hits you a different way than when you ingest digestible THC, because it binds to your fat cells. I'm a freaking nerd, bro. Like I literally, when I study things, I really study them to understand why things happen the way they do. And you have much higher psychedelic effect when it comes to edible THC compared to smoking marijuana, like going through your lungs and into your bloodstream. So I honestly think it was just THC, but my receptor cells, which are the cells that absorb the different chemicals, were so fresh. I never did anything before that. I told you I was raised Mormon. Like I felt shame like drinking beer or drinking any alcohol. Like I didn't even start drinking alcohol till I was like 23 or something, or 24. I can't remember, but it was in that same time that I started to explore, and yeah. So anyways, I think it was just THC, but I was in this weird trance for a couple of weeks. And when I came out of it, like little by little, it started going away. But I always made a rational thought to like remember this moment. I remember I wrote some stuff down just to remind me because it was so profound. But I knew that I was going to lose it because it felt almost like a dream. And dreams, you forget about them as soon as they happen. Like you forget about them. And I told myself, don't forget this shit because you need to always remember that you're connected to other people. And this is going to allow you to be more empathetic, more caring, more forgiving. And it really did change my life in a lot of ways, that moment, because I have the ability to forgive people very quickly. And a lot of people don't have that. And they go through their whole life with a lot of anger and resentment and hatred. And all they're doing is poisoning themselves, you know? And a lot of people have done me really dirty, and they've hurt me in, you know, a lot of different ways. And I've forgiven them all. You know, I don't associate with those people anymore, and I don't forget, but I don't carry the same amount of hatred and anger that at one point I did. And I'm able to release it a lot quicker because I can empathize with people. I can be like, he's just like me. I'm just like him. You know, yeah, he's a piece of shit, but guess what? I'm a piece of shit sometimes too. And I think if you understand that we all are on the same planet, you can be a little bit kinder to people, and in turn, people will be kinder to you, and you'll have a more harmonious life. You know, so there's people that have really done me wrong that I've forgiven them, and I've also apologized to a lot of people for wrongdoings that I've done. And I'm in a place now in my life that I don't carry around a lot of regret or shame or anger. And at one point I did, you know, so that journey was very important to me. And it was weird because, like I was telling you before, I had gone through that journey of like studying religions. And it got to the point where I became almost atheist, anti-theist, you know, because I even studied atheism and anti-theism, which was very different than Satanism. Satanism was the practice of the opposite of God. They believe that God exists, but they're against it. Now, atheism is the belief of no religion, of no God, you know? So you can be someone who believes in God, you're a deist, but you're still an anti-theist, which means you don't believe in practicing a certain religion. And for some time, I was a bit agnostic, which means you don't know. You're like on the fence, like, do you believe in God? And I'm like, I don't know. I would tell people, I don't know. And so for many years, I carried that with me where, you know, I didn't believe in any religion, and I didn't know if there was a God because I studied so much and I was like a little nerd and shit. And it didn't make sense to me. But after certain experiences that you go through in your life and that I went through personally in my life, I realized like there is a creator. It's not what we want it to be. I don't think there's a guy that looks like me that's name's God, G-O-D, that, you know, hangs out and cares about who I sleep with or what I do. But I do believe there is a infinite battle between good and bad, you know, up and down, in and out, all of that. And I think that we can all redeem ourselves for any wrongdoings that we've done if we correct that balance and start to focus on doing the right things, doing the good things. We all inherently know what's good and bad, you know, and it doesn't matter what practice or what religion you practice. They all want you to live a good, wholesome life that'll bring you positivity, and at the end of the day, redemption, you know, because we are all imperfect. You know, I've never met a person that's perfect. And yeah, man. So after going through all that crazy stuff and going through all those different moments, I came to the realization that there is a God, you know, and that we all have the ability to connect with him. And when we don't, bad shit happens to us. And there was a time where I was completely disconnected and I was making a lot of mistakes, a lot of errors. In business and relationships and finances and my spirituality and my health. And it all came with negative results, you know? And I know this podcast is for young entrepreneurs that are trying to become successful. And the reason why I bring this whole subject up is because it all connects together. If you're living a bad life, you're going to get bad results, and it's eventually going to catch up to you. There was times where I was doing not following the right path, and I was still successful financially, but I was living a life of hell internally. You know, I was unhappy. I was depressed. I was, you know, having panic attacks all the time. I was anxious, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that can resonate with what I'm saying, because you'll see people that make a lot of money, but you don't know what they're like in their home. You know what they're like when they try to go to sleep and they can't sleep. I've been there where you're just tossing and turning your bed all day, all night long, and you're just like, fuck, and you get no rest, and your life is shit. And I don't ever want to do that again. All the major changes in my life that have happened have come from suffering and from pain and from misery, and from me making the decision, I'm never going to do this again, and I'm never going to live through that experience again. And from there, I become an obsessed person, and I grow. And I think if people can take even a smidgen of what I'm saying, it might help them in their life. And sorry that I spoke for so long, bro.
No, it was good. You said a lot. I don't know where to start or where to tackle. But so today, fast forward to today, you saying you do believe there's a God.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
But you're not, in a sense, religious?
I don't practice a religion.
You don't practice a religion? Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're raised a certain religion, like I said, I was raised Mormon. There's certain things that you can't get rid of. There's certain beliefs you just can't get rid of.
Like what?
I'm trying to think, specifically. Like I still pray. And that's a religious practice, and I like I said before, I put intention on things, and I guess that's probably one of the main ones is I still pray. I'm like, I don't practice religion. Why am I praying like to God? And I guess that's just a way that I feel I'm connecting to God is by talking to him.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe all religions pray, right? Who believe in God?
Yes. But here's the difference. One thing is talking to your deity, and one thing is praying. Like a prayer, it's a protocol, which is another reason why
it's like a ritual.
Yeah. It's not just a ritual, but it's a protocol. Like you have to say certain things at a certain time. And that was another thing that I really didn't like about religions, is that they made protocols on things where they became like just something you do and you never really had a purpose or intention behind it. Like, okay, you did something wrong. Now go say 10 Hail Marys. You just do it to do it. You don't really care what you're saying. You're just repeating words, and in a prayer, there's certain things that you have to say. Like you got to set it up this way and you got to finish it this way, in the middle, you take over, say what you got to say. Which is a little different, but anyways, there's certain things like that. Like I still pray all the time. Like I pray at night, I pray in the mornings when I'm going to do certain things where I want to have certain intention. I'll pray. And, but other than that, I don't go to church. I don't, abide by, any sect of religion, but I am a very spiritual person. I have my own code of ethics. I don't lie. I think the golden rule is probably the most important rule of them all when it comes to all religions, and every single one has had them, which is do unto others as you would like to do unto yourself. So, why would I do something wrong to you if I wouldn't want you to do that to me, But I also think that we should definitely judge certain situations differently based on the situation. Like I don't abide by certain teachings in religion at all. I don't believe in loving your enemy. I'll say you can love your own enemy. I fuck my enemy. Like if someone's literally my enemy, I'm not gonna love them. Someone comes into my house with a gun and trying to like shoot me or kill me or rob from me. That is different, than forgiving someone that had harmed you already. But at the moment, you got to defend yourself. You got to protect yourself. There's practicality and then there's spirituality.
Okay. Okay. I think what you said is very interesting.
Yeah.
Because I have never. Okay. Let me just say this. You said that religion, they say you got to love your enemy. And then you use the example of somebody trying to break in your house, trying to kill you, rob you, blah, blah, blah. So your interpretation of religion saying love your enemy is that in the event somebody's trying to harm you, love them? Is that what your interpretation? Because that's not my interpretation.
I guess that was just a quick second thought, but no, it obviously means more than that. It means love someone that has harmed you, and it means forgiveness, which I do believe in. But I also think there is different variables in life where you shouldn't love your enemy.
And like in what?
Um,
Other than some extreme, somebody's trying to come literally kill you.
I would say there's certain philosophies and belief systems that are just wrong, that are not truth, and that are harmful. And when someone has those beliefs, they are not for me, they're against me, that would make me my enemy. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm trying to kill them or do something nefarious. It just means that I'm not for what you believe in. And I think I think stop again. Should I give me the eyes, the googly eyes? Yeah.
So, can I tell you what I believe?
Yeah, go for it, man. I've been talking too much.
Go for it. Go for it. Fuck it. We have 10 minutes left. Go ahead for it.
Oh, we do. Damn, I've been speaking for like 40 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
I told you we're going to talk it all in this podcast. I had a lot to say.
I don't know. I think my beliefs today at 29 years old are very different than how they were, and they should be, how they were 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I'd be a liar if I sat here and I said I've never done anybody wrong. It's not true at all.
I respect that. And I see you as an honest, ethical person. The person that's a liar would say, like, I've never done anything wrong. We all make mistakes. We all make errors. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. And but people have also done me wrong. And I've evolved into okay, let me say this. I believe most people grew up this way. An eye for an eye. Right? If you sock me, I'm going to stab you. If you stab me, I'm going to shoot you.
Well, that's not an eye for an eye. That's an eye for two eyes.
Yeah. Right? But you get my point. Right?
Yeah.
You come at me, I'm going to come at you. And I'm going to come at you harder. That's usually what people are taught.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't think like that no more. I really sincerely don't. From the bottom of my heart, I don't. I've had many people betray me and do me wrong, lie to me, as I have done to people.
Yeah.
I don't live like that no more. But I do not, the word passion, we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Passion means to suffer.
Yeah.
Right? When you have the word compassion, right? What does that mean? It means you're suffering with them.
Yeah.
It's mutual suffering.
You can feel their suffering.
You can feel it. And so I realize that when people are living wrong and they're just doing bad they're doing bad unto others, and this is not to justify for them. I'm not justifying their actions. I'm not justifying the fact that they're living wrong. What I'm saying is I now have the ability to realize that somebody who's trying to hurt me, there's something hurting in them.
Yeah.
And I think that because I'm more in tune with that, I can have a lot more understanding. Yeah. Not that I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
However, I started this whole podcast talking about what I'm learning, which is you could do me wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have a rise in me. I'm gonna feel it.
Of course.
I'm gonna feel it. But see, the real practice, if you want to talk about spirituality, the real practice is not trying to fix you. It's trying to fix my reaction to you.
Yeah.
Right. And I believe that's the real practice.
That's how we started this podcast, is having that understanding and then applying it, which is like I told you, like when you say certain things, you upset me, like, and then I'm allowing you to upset me, and then I'm going to react and say something back to you. And like, and having the ability to control that is huge, man.
Yeah. And not nobody, most people walking this planet haven't even had this thought before. Yeah. Because we all we're operating out of our just factory settings. You know what I mean? Like this is what we were programmed to do. And then you start to enlighten yourself, you start to learn, you start to you get put onto certain individuals that walked this planet before and teachings, and then you go, whoa, if you're the right person, which I believe anybody has the ability to be the right person, you start to question. And you start to now not just question other people or question organizations, question yourself. Yeah. I question myself every single day. Like, why am I letting this person get a rise out of me right now? Yeah. Why do I care? Yeah. When you tell me XYZ and I didn't like it, I recognize now because I'm aware that triggered
Right.
me in some way. Now, the problem is most people are operating this way. You trigger me, I need to fix you. You better behave.
Right.
This is
Right.
how most people
That's
operate in the
crazy.
world. This is how most people operate in the world. Okay? They do no work to fix what's going on in themselves.
Yeah.
So when the outside world is doing something to trigger them, because they don't want to go inside and figure out what's wrong with me, this is kind of how they're not saying this, but this is kind of their subconscious. Hey, I'm not okay in here, so you better behave.
That's funny. You
And that's how most
that.
people. That's how most people.
That's I 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. And if people have the ability to switch that thought process, man, that would change the world, bro. That would literally change the world. People look internally instead of looking externally. Like that is a problem. Like, no. This is the problem. You got to fix yourself first before you can go shit on anybody else.
100%, because nobody's perfect,
Yeah.
and everybody says that, but nobody really dives into that statement. Oh, everybody goes, nobody's perfect. Yeah, we get that, but what does that mean?
Right.
What that means is, I have compassion for the next man because I know the next man is dealing with something, and the next man, he's just operating with a lower sense of awareness. He doesn't know what he's doing.
There's been this crazy shooter in Texas that killed all these little kids, and I everybody, when they heard about it, they were like shocked and they were saddened, like all these innocent lives taken from this planet and all the suffering and pain that this one guy inflicted on the world. And he was clearly a damaged, suffering person himself. Like you said, someone that hurts you is hurting inside. They want to inflict the same pain that they're feeling.
Yeah.
And just
hurt people.
Yeah. And just how, I don't know nothing about this whole situation. I'm just giving my opinion from the little information that I know. Is the guy lived with his grandparents. He was very socially awkward. He didn't talk at all. He was like, I guess he was like trans or something, because there's like pictures of him with like women's clothes on and stuff. And his mom abandoned him pretty much. And, they had a lot of turmoil. So I could only imagine that this kid, or man, or whatever the hell you want to call him, had a lot of anger, resentment, hatred in his soul, and a lot of suffering because his own mother didn't love him and abandoned him. So he probably wanted to end his life, but he wanted to inflict as much pain and suffering in the world before he left, so that they can feel the pain and suffering that he had inside. And he thought, like, well, my mother never loved me, and she did nothing but, hurt me and cause me all this pain and suffering. So I'm going to inflict the same pain that I have into other parents. I'm going to take their kids away. Like, he wanted to hurt his mom. So he did what he did, which is a piece of shit move, as a coward. And he has a reckoning in his afterlife. But I think, this is my opinion, I think that's why he did it. He did it to inflict as much pain as it could before he left. And his whole purpose was, I'm gonna kill myself at one point, but I'm gonna leave with a bang. I'm gonna kill and cause suffering myself. And he was successful in it, and that's affected so many people's lives. And during hard moments like that, a lot of people question their spirituality. They question their beliefs, their faith in humanity. And it's very dark moments like that really transform people. And there is evil in this world. There is suffering in this world. And we have to, from my experience, everyone has the capability of doing really bad stuff. You have to be aware of that. And you have to bring it to the light instead of pushing it down. Because if you push it down at one day it explodes, and you cause a lot of pain and suffering in the world. Instead of understanding, like, shit, I have that same ability to be very resentful and angry and hurt other people. Let me bring that out and understand it and de-escalate it and control it. Like, do you know who Jordan Peterson is?
Of course.
Yeah. So he talks about, like, a true man is a monster that has the ability to control it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I 1,000% back that. You know, a man is someone that has the ability to be a monster, but can control it because he understands his purpose in life is to be a leader and a protector.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, you know, so I think if we all really understand that and control that monster inside us, there'll be a lot of less pain and suffering in this world, and we would all be a lot happier. You know, and I'm on the right track now when it comes to where I'm going and what I'm doing. And I'm grateful for the experiences that I've been through. And I'm nowhere near where I want to be. You know, I was talking to my friend Corey the other day, and he said there's the boy, there's the man, and then there's the father. You know, and he's like, "Where are you in your life?" And I was like, "Well, I know I've definitely have passed the boy part, you know, and I'm probably in the position where I'm, you know, growing into the man that I want to be, but I'm not that father figure yet that I ultimately want to be, which is the person that has that wisdom and that strength that can provide to his tribe and to his children, that is going to allow them to be the rock for the future." You know, and same thing you said, like, you're 27, right? 29. So you were a different person last year. You were a different person before that. Imagine what you're going to be like now in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
How much wiser and how much more wise, I'm sorry, and how much more of a man you were going to be. It's going to be crazy. Mm-hmm. So we got to stick to this track that we're on, where we're looking to grow, we're looking to evolve, we're looking to live a better life, we're looking to have more freedom, more everything. And I think every single human on this planet wants the same thing in their own right. They want to be free, they want to have purpose, they want to have knowledge, they want to have wisdom, they want to have the right networks, they want to be healthy, they want to be wealthy, everybody wants that. Who the hell doesn't? Who the hell wants to be a slave? Who the hell wants to be stupid and freaking unhealthy? Nobody. But if we don't have the right equations and the right teachings, we're never going to get there. So any single time that I meet someone that I feel, hey, this person has gone through their life journey and they have a lot of knowledge and wisdom, I tell them, hey, man, you got to come out on our podcast and share that with our audience, because I genuinely feel that people are going to benefit from that. And as you do that, as you give to the world, you will receive. There's certain laws in this world that I don't care what you believe in. You can scream and cry and yell. They are truth. You know, say what you want to say. You know, this is gravity. It is what it is. You know, say what you want to say. The sun's going to rise tomorrow. You know, say what you want to say. The sun will set. The waves will crash. The birds will do what they do. And I think we're going to create a movement where people that are looking to better their life are going to follow. And I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited about it. And because that's what I want to do. And again, everybody that's out there, I hope you guys are gaining some type of knowledge and value from this. And that's all I got to say for today, brother.
Close us out.
You got any last words?
No, sir. You hit it all. I was taught, don't speak past the sale.
Well, guys, this was episode 7, and I hope you were wowed, and I hope you don't do drugs, even though my story is pretty freaking awesome. And make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our next guest is actually who the hell do we have next? Actually, I don't even know who the hell our next guest is.
I believe
we got Jerry. Yeah, Jerry Garcia. He's a world famous comedian that's going to be coming on. I'm going to have my homie High Tone, a rapper, tattoo artist, entrepreneur that's going to be coming on. We're going to be having some more financial services millionaires coming on. We're going to have some athletes. We're going to have some artists. We're going to have everything, guys. And guess what? It's all in a state of mind. And guess what, Chris?
What?
We got to be the best and fuck the rest.
There you go.
All right, guys. See you guys later. It's been a great time.